If you've been looking for a lightweight family travel trailer that you can easily tow with a mid-size SUV, then folks, I've got one for you. This one comes in right around 16.5 foot and only 2,000 pounds dry with 1,000 pounds carrying capacity. It means that if your SUV can tow 3,500 pounds, you can easily tow this one fully loaded. Folks, this family travel trailer behind me is the all-new 2023 Coleman Rubicon 1400 BH. Now let's talk a little bit about the design and kind of the idea behind it. So where I'm sitting right now, you'll see it kind of has the shelving that comes up with the bunk up here. The idea is that this is one of your two kind of sofas, your sitting areas. Right across from me would be the other one. That way you can very comfortably sit 4 people in here. And then both of these kind of convert into beds. Well, what I'm sitting on right now is one of the beds. So you have one bed here, another one right up top. Now, when we talk about families, bear in mind that, you're probably going to have a little bit smaller children for these bunks to work simply because they're a little more narrow. As an adult, you will see, I'm 200 pounds, 6 foot tall, and if I lay down here, it's a little tight, right? Like I'm not sleeping any other way than this, and even here, it's not going to be super comfortable. So if you have teenagers or taller kids, it's going to be a little bit tougher. But, if you have 3-year-olds to, 7, 8-year-olds, these beds are going to be great for you. You also see storage underneath here, so some good added storage and plenty of electrical outlets in here too. So we have an outlet here, another outlet on the other side, and then we actually have one right up top, meant mainly for the TV because our TV hookup is there, as well as some USB ports, and you can see the fireplace. Now this fireplace is going to be the main heater inside the 1400. This one doesn't have a furnace, so you don't want to take it out like in winter, but if it's a little bit chillier, kind of a cold night, cooler morning, this will actually do a pretty good job of keeping things nice and toasty in here. And then you can see you have some storage on both sides. Now, the other bed, the main bed, if you will be this one here. So this part drops down, and then we can actually take cushions and fill in this entire space with all cushions. So all of this is another large bed. You will also see if it's hot outside, right? Need to cool things down. You have a couple options, of course. There's a window, but you also have 2 doors. So you can just open up both doors, just have the screens there, have a nice cross ventilation through here. Or if it is too warm, that's what the AC is there for. Just bear in mind, you do have to have shore power for that to function. The other reason this one has 2 doors, folks, is when this is out into a bed, it gives you the ability to exit from either side of the camper so you don't have to crawl over each other in the middle of the night. Because if you're like me and you have to get up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom, well, this makes it a whole heck of a lot easier. You'll also see plenty of storage in here. Now, most of it is hidden. It's tucked away beneath the seats. So we have storage beneath this seat right here, and that actually gives us access to our pass-through. You can see that pass-through storage space. We also have storage underneath this seat and another storage area right back here. So good storage overall inside. As far as seating height, as I mentioned, I'm 6 foot tall. You can see I have a little bit of space. If you're, 6'2", 6'3", if you have a really big torso, might be something you might want to check out for yourself. But for me, this works just fine. So to transform this main sofa into the sleeping space, what you'll want to do is unhook both latches on the side, which will allow the back of the sofa to fold down. You'll then want to remove the bottom seat cushion and fold out the seat base, which will make up the rest of the bed, and then simply put all the cushions on top. All right, now let's talk about the outside of the Coleman Rubicon 1400 BH. And for me, folks, this is where a lot of the really cool features come into play. One of the first things I want to hit on, I mentioned the length. That's the fact it's about 16.5 foot. We talked about weight. One of the things we didn't talk about is height. And one of the reasons I really like this one is because it is just a hair below 7 foot. Now, what does that mean to you and why is it important? Well, one is it's going to give you better towability, right? Because chances are you're going to be towing with an SUV. You don't want something towering over the back of it. But 2 is the fact that it means it will fit in a lot of residential garages because most of them have 7-foot door heights. Now, you will always want to measure. Never assume that it will, right? Make sure that that it will clear your door. But a lot of times, like if you live in an HOA and you're not allowed to park your RV outside and you don't want to pay for storage, something like this, you can actually pull into one of the stalls of your garage, which is awesome. That's a huge feature in my opinion, which is one of the reasons they went with a side mount AC instead of the top mount. We'll talk a little bit more about the roof though in just a minute. I also want to show you, of course, your propane tank is hanging out right up here, rails there for your battery. Then you'll see solar prep. Now, this one also has solar prep on the roof, and again, as I mentioned, we'll get up there and take a look, but with that solar prep there, that is going to be your solar on the side. So if you have like the briefcase style, you can plug it right in there for some additional solar power. Coming around to this side, a couple quick things. We talked about our pass-through when we were inside, and there is that pass-through storage. You know, it's not huge storage, but hey, any storage we get is great storage, especially in an RV this size. And the fact we have access to it from both inside and outside is a huge plus. You'll also see the huck bolt frame. That's a big win in my book too. I like the fact that it's huck bolt. You know, studies have shown that the #1 place that rust starts on a frame is at a weld seam. So by helping to eliminate the amount of welds we have, hopefully it'll be less chance for any kind of corrosion to start. And if you do get in any kind of accident, huck bolt frames tend to be a lot easier to repair, which is always a big win. This right here is the indoor-outdoor table, folks. As you can see, I currently have it outdoor because I also want to show it off with our outside griddle. So if you're outside here, you're doing some cooking, you need some prep space, there you go. You can bring your table right outside. When you're done, open the door up. You can, it'll go right in between the sofas, right as we saw in there. Super simple, easy, and convenient. You'll also see the electrical outlet out here. So if you need to, you know, place something out here and plug some stuff in, you have the capability to do that. We'll talk a little bit more about the wheels when we go around to the other side, but again, I did want to show you this one comes with the flat top griddle. Another thing you'll see underneath are stabilizer jacks. Again, something that's kind of a nice feature to have on an RV this size. Bigger RVs, yeah, you would expect them, but something that's 16.5 foot, that's a great extra feature to have there with the stabilizer jacks on back. And when you were inside, you probably noticed there was no kitchen. Well, that's because the kitchen is right back here. Good storage up top, plenty of prep space. We have our sink off to the side, the electrical outlet, of course, that one is GFCI. You'll see this sticker, and this will be on actually all the outlets. What that signifies is this one is pre-wired for an inverter, and I'll show you where that goes in just a minute. But if you do choose to have that upgraded solar package, you have all these inverted outlets because this one really is built to be able to do some off-grid camping, and that inverter and the solar is a big piece of that. The refrigerator, take a look at the size of this fridge. I love that. Nice big fridge out here. Again, especially in an RV this size, just not something you would expect. And then you get additional storage right down over here, which I love. You can also see your tank monitoring panel and your battery monitoring panel will be right out here. So that's always good to know where that is going to be located. Now, I know this one doesn't have a black tank, but because you have the sink, it does have a gray tank, which is pretty great. And then, of course, you have to have some kind of termination, a way to dump that, and that is what you have there. When we come around to the side, this will be all of your hookups. So you have city water inlet, fresh water inlet, a spray port, so you have extra water access out here. Of course, a cable inlet and 30 amp inlet there. Now, let's talk about the tires. They're awesome. You have 14-inch tires on there, nice big lugs. So that way, if you are going to take this off-road, you know, you shouldn't have to worry about popping a tire or anything like that. The aluminum rims, which look nice now and will continue to do so because they don't rust. And then you have this big steel wheel well on here, which is great from a couple reasons. One, it looks really nice. Two, you have the handle here, folks. I'm over 200 pounds. You can see I can easily stand on this. We don't have to worry about it. Now, why is that a bonus? Well, one, it lets you get up here for anything you need to do for maintenance. But two, and more importantly, it gives you the access. It may be because you want to be able to get to the solar prep that's up there. Well, that's you know, a nice thing to be able to do. So you can hook up solar panels, again, if you want to do some more off-grid camping. But in my mind, the bigger bonus is because this one is prepped for Thule roof racks. So why is that important? Well, if you're an adventurous type person and you want to have another cargo carrier, maybe you want to go skiing somewhere, you can throw skis up there, you can throw fishing poles up there. Or for me personally, I'm going to go with a Tepui tent. Not sure if you've seen it before, rooftop tents, but you can put Thule racks up there, put it to Tepui tent up top. This roof has 1,000-pound capacity. So you can get a 3, possibly a 4-person tent up there, depending on the weight of the people, and not have any kind of issues. Now, when you're traveling, it's 250-pound capacity because of the center mass, but the fact that you are able to put that tent up there really opens up the sleep options available in the 1400 BH. You'll also see right over here to the side, I'll open this up, this is the other side of the pass-through, but I just wanted to show you, right there is our inverter prep as well as the solar solar charge controller prep. So if you do get that package, that is where they will go. Folks, if you're looking for a lightweight family RV that is good for off-grid capability, is upgradable to the point where you can have an extra tent and sleep easily, 6+ people on this thing, well, this right here, the 2023 Coleman Rubicon 1400 VH, is definitely something you should put on the short list.